Hey everybody, I hope you can hear me. It's a little windy, but I just been thinking a lot about my transition into a new position and a little bit about my journey to get here. And for those of you that don't know, my current position in the Bureau of Indian Education is that of Native Language History and Culture Education Specialist. And I always remember when I got into work with Native culture and languages, culturally responsive education, I heard a lot of comments and people ask me and kind of give snickers and remarks about the fact that I'm not fluent in any of the languages and the tribes that I come from, which is Hemasi and Nigriya. And those are works in progress. And without going into the full story, I didn't grow up in any of my communities when I was younger. My parents are from two different communities, didn't have a whole lot of language continuity. And so even though I've been culturally ingrained in things from all three of my tribal communities I'm from, it was very difficult to pick up language pieces. I know pieces here and there. And as somebody enrolled in ZIA, trying to pick those things up and learn as much as I can as I go along. But I still consider myself to be a child in my development as far as language and my usage of it. But that doesn't take away the fact that I have a lot of experience in seeing how language programs work, seeing what works, the research, but also engaging with all kinds of tribes and different people across the United States with how they develop language, how they've done their language programs, what are some best practices and considerations. So through my experience, through my the knowledge and I'm fortunate to have had experience with different communities. I have an idea of how to incorporate languages and utilize the tribes as the owners of those languages. And it was hard at the beginning doing some of this work because a lot of people doubted. And of course that put doubt in my mind if I'm able to do this, if I'm qualified to do this, if I should be doing it. And of course there was a lot of doubt in my head in certain periods of doing this work at the school level, district level, and at the federal level with BIE. But as I started to go along and started to interact and engage, the one thing that I was very cognizant of is that I'm being humble and having the humility to understand that I don't know everything and that this is a work in progress and that I am a work in progress. But the most important part being that if somebody doesn't push this work forward, then who's going to do it? Who's going to do it on our behalf? Who's going to do it on behalf of our tribes, our communities, our families, our students, and even on behalf of our ancestors? And I guess it came to the point where I had to trust in myself, trust in my heart, trust what I was trying to do as something good. And again, not having all the answers, but be willing to learn, but also to learn alongside other people, to guide people and to give them resources, point them in the right direction. And so for those of you that are seeking to your careers and looking at what you might be able to do, it's important to understand that you may not have all the answers, you may not ever have all of the knowledge that you need to have, but it's about pushing forward, and that if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it for us. And especially in work like this, we need people that are going to be pioneers, that aren't going to be afraid to take a little bit of risk, and people that aren't going to be afraid to fail. Because I can guarantee you that in this work that I'm doing, I failed a lot of times, but in that failure, I've been able to learn how to persevere, to learn valuable lessons on how to push and guide and to support different groups and people, but also having that equity for people in the communities and the tribes that I work with. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's not ever a clear path. There's always going to be the doubt. There's always going to be people that are going to be the detractors and the things that you're doing. But it's also very humbling to know that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all those things, but just be willing to step out and support and help our communities, especially our Native communities in that regard, and wherever community you come from. So don't be afraid. Don't take no for an answer. Don't let the closed doors stop you. There's always another door to open. So just wanted to put that out there because that fear always exists. But I'm so glad that I was able to have failed and pick myself up and to be able to learn and to create partnerships and collaborations, friendships, relationships where people are able to support and help me and guide me along this journey. So never thought that I'd be a teacher, never thought I'd be an educator, never thought I'd be working in native language and culture. But this is where I find myself, and I'm grateful, to all the people that have helped along the way. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Just wanted to put that out there to everybody, and just hope that you reach for your dreams, reach for your goals, be fearless, and help us thrive. You guys have a good day. Bye.